Hey, I'm Ryan.
I'm David.
And we're here to review X-Men Days of Future Past trailer number 2. I know David's excited, as am I. Let's get into it. David, first shot. We think that this is New York. That to me looks like the Empire State Building.
Yeah, for sure. And we think we're going to go through the building and we see what used to be Central Park and is now the concentration camps the mutants are being put in, which comes from the comics in which all these mutants get put into camps.
David mused before, what if that hole in the middle of the Empire State Building was an X?
Yeah, I wonder if that would be cooler or less cool. I don't know.
I think it'd be less cool. What do you think? Comment below. So we see a lot of these carrier ships that we see later are carrying Sentinels, which are a huge part of the X-Men universe and a very big part of this movie.
And as you all know, we time travel in this movie. We see young Magneto and old Magneto and young Xavier. Now we pause there. That was a Sentinel who was kind of like the T2. The TX who can like sort of change liquid form. It looks like the Sentinel can change the hand or like.
I'll tell you what, David. It looks like Storm's in some trouble in this scene.
Yeah.
I don't know how she's gonna get out of this one. Lightning won't help you there. Anyway, so this movie, Bat Hat Harry, that's Bryan Singer's production company. This movie was directed by Bryan Singer, director of the first two. Anyway, this is what I was talking about with the carrier ships letting off the Sentinels. So. Again, the biggest thing about this movie, the cast is humongous.
Yeah, we even have Colossus here from X3.
Yeah, there are a few shots of newer mutants. There's Colossus.
That is Sunspot or Sunspot. Yeah, Sunspot.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people saw it and said, the Human Torch is in this movie?
Yeah.
And David says, no, that's not right.
So his power is that he can turn into a sun. And then we're still in the future here.
That's the Blackbird, yeah. So you were telling me that in the comic books it's Kitty Pryde who goes back in time?
Kitty Pryde goes back in time, and they send her consciousness back in time. This one, because Wolverine is more popular, they send Wolverine's brain, basically his mind, back into time.
And they're really playing up the Bryan Singer angle of this whole thing. You were telling me that they had to rebuild this blue hallway.
Yeah.
Because they tore it down after the last X-Men movie. Because why would they save these things? But it's cool to see. There's Nick Holt. He's Hank McCoy, a.k.a. Beast, in the background. And that is the outside of Cerebro.
Yeah.
The big... that plays a huge part in X2. So the idea of them kind of bringing together the continuity of all of the movies is kind of crazy. And impressive.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge cast. I mean, the budget for this is $260 million, which I assume a lot just would go to the salaries for the actors.
For sure. And as you were saying before, special effects, I'm sure it was a huge part of the budget. If not all of it.
We see Quicksilver wearing a Pink Floyd shirt and silver hair, which I'm not a fan of at all.
We're not happy with the Quicksilver look. In the background, there's someone tied up with duct tape, and it looks like Quicksilver did it very quickly. Yeah. If someone took their time with that duct tape, the craftsmanship is
also,
so
why is James McAvoy able to stand? We don't know, and it's very confusing.
And is he all wet, or does he just not wash his hair?
That's
important to know for the story.
I believe that's Magneto getting his helmet back.
Yeah, and I like the classic look of the helmet in this. It's, it looks just like the comic books. At the end of First Class, they showed Magneto in his kind of like classic outfit, which was rad.
And this is the Vietnam War era, so I assume we're at a Vietnam War
and
camp or something.
This is kind of like a souped up version of Mystique's. Like they've kind of changed how she's transformed throughout the movies. That's really always kind of an interesting facet of her character.
Now the flags they're waving, that looks,
What's that?
The flags they're waving. We don't know what flag that is, do we?
I don't know if that's an actual flag. We were talking about how cool this looks. In an action movie, if someone does a big grand action while looking for something, it always looks very nonchalant and cool. And Michael Fassbender is kind of the master of looking cool.
There's Peter Dinklage, who's famous from Game of Thrones, who plays Bolivar Trask, who invented all the Sentinels.
Yes. Which again are a huge part of this movie, and we see a really good shot of one.
So that's probably, we assume this is the 70s, that's probably like the first Sentinel. And then as we saw earlier, about to attack Storm, that's like the more advanced Sentinel that can change shape.
Yeah, there's a ton of different kind of models throughout the whole thing. There's a shot coming up here.
Now that mutant is called Blink, and from what I've read, she can teleport and send things through portals.
So kind of like Nightcrawler, except she can throw it to other people.
Yeah.
There's Kitty Pryde and
Bishop. Yeah, Bishop with a huge gun, which is sort of always something. His character always has huge guns.
Yeah, seeing Bishop on screen is a really cool thing because he's kind of this peripheral character in the comic books that never really kind of got a movie treatment, so that's really cool.
That's a very Matrixy looking shot of the robots. If you go back there, his blood is purple or something, and I assume that's to get a good rating on the trailer. They can't show explicit blood.
Doesn't sit right with David. That his blood is. I said that perhaps he was eating cranberry juice before everybody came in. I don't think that's the
That's
case.
Ellen Page. That's Kitty Pryde.
Yeah,
right there. Yeah.
Yeah. She featured more prominently in X-Men: The Last Stand. Was she in the previous ones as a cameo?
She did. I don't think so.
Kitty Pryde was in X2, but it wasn't Ellen Page until they kind of wrote a bigger part for her.
There's a bunch of Sentinels. And now I wonder if the Sentinels can be controlled by Magneto, if they're made of plastic or some kind of metal. Oh, that was Havoc.
Yeah, he was in X-Men First Class.
That's supposed to be Cyclops' brother, Alex Summers, and in First Class he shoots out of his chest, but here it looks like he can control it by his arms now.
It's really fascinating to me how they're really kind of seamlessly joining these two worlds, because to me X-Men First Class kind of took place in this alternate. I never connected the two in my mind, like it was a reboot, and the fact that they're taking their reboot and combining it with their original franchise is kind of exciting and unexpected. And now they're planning on doing a few of these with X-Men Apocalypse.
So if you saw there, we saw just Blink throws something pink that opens up like a portal.
And then we see what 10-year-old me would be so psyched to see.
So that's Iceman doing his like ice gliding maneuvers, which is so cool.
Yeah, especially after in X-Men: The Last Stand, the Iceman kind of turning into ice was very disappointing. So
pause. So that was
sure, of course.
James McAvoy. That's young Charles Xavier and old. And now I don't really know who's time traveling is what I'm wondering, because I can't understand exactly how they are meeting.
And I have a feeling this is happening inside one of their heads. That's what I think. But then still, they need to get back in time.
Yeah.
So, or forward.
It looks like maybe they're in a living room. Like it looks like there could be a chandelier and a painting on the
Yeah,
the
they
wall
perhaps
there.
are in the mansion.
Yeah.
The Charles Xavier mansion. I mean, he spent all the money on the real estate. He might as well stay in it, you know. Anyway, so Days of Future Past, super exciting. Comes out here May 23rd. Comes out in Jamaica May 20th. So any of our Jamaican viewers, you get it 3 days before we do. So please let us know how it is. David, are you excited?
I'm excited. I really hope this movie's 5 hours long, because that's like if it's shorter than that, then I'm gonna be a little disappointed. But I hope. I don't know what the runtime is yet, but if it's 5 hours, I'll be really happy.
I'm gonna be honest, David. I think you might be a little disappointed. Chance of this being 5 hours long is very. But you know what? We still hope.
There's still going to be X-Men Apocalypse in 2016, also directed by Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
Who, and what I've read in interviews, it's supposed to be the younger cast, so maybe Jennifer Lawrence will be in that one.
Yeah. So I think this is a great trailer. Everything we've seen from this movie is kind of awesome, and the Comic-Con reaction was huge. So no reason to believe this will be anything less than the best film ever made.
Yeah.
That will be 5 hours long.
Yeah.
So comment below, let us know what you think, and until next time, I'm Ryan.
And I'm David.
Thank you for watching.